Good morning, everyone. This is Jennifer,
Good morning. This is Lorraine.
and I am very excited. I went to the back of my closet to grab the nicest thing that I have. My suit jackets I've already given up. We no longer wear those. I had a black suit jacket. I was like, oh, that would be perfect. Oh, no, I gave those up. And I do have slippers on, but normally would have like really pretty heels that Lorraine always wears. And, she always tells me to have a little color, so I never wear lipstick, guys, never. And I went and grabbed my lipstick, was like, "All right, I'm gonna wear it for Lorraine today," because she is one of my favorite mentors. I think you can learn from just about anybody, but if I want to know advice and what to do, especially in business, I ask Lorraine. Um I have to ask Lorraine. I have to know what Lorraine's opinion is. Because
Well,
it
we're gonna question the wisdom of always coming to me, but
So today's topic is, what to do after you sell your company. And I have 3 important questions I wanna ask before you sell your company, and you wanna pre-show, like, I wanna tell the story before because it matters. So, I mean, it's your show, girl. Like, do you want me to, like, go with questions, or do you just wanna go?
well, you know what? I'm gonna just say something up front, and then I'm gonna follow your lead on the questions because we're gonna let you do the interviewing this morning. Um, but if you're thinking about selling your business, and you're wondering about what you're going to do afterwards, you need to be thinking about that before you sell your business. You need to have a really clear picture of what you want your future to be, because otherwise you're not going to go into the negotiations well. And when you're done, you're going to be sitting around going, well, I sold it. Now what do I do? And that's not where you want to be. So with that in mind, you had questions. Let's answer them.
Yeah, that's some many, many things that I've learned from you, what you've just said. I bought the book, like, Dummies for Mergers, Acquisitions, and Buyouts, and I was like, "Well, Lorraine knows more about this in this book, so these are just terms. I can memorize this." Um, I always start with the why. Why did you start?
Why did I start the business? So I had spent a long time working really hard building a corporate career and building an executive identity, and I liked what I was doing, but what I found was I was at my best when I could convince upper management to kind of let me do my own thing, to be a little bit entrepreneurial. And my Skunk Works projects were always really successful and they were always fun. And when Conseco, I was working for at the time, started sliding into bankruptcy and I started looking at other jobs, I thought to myself, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to put hard into something and then discover that I'm at the whims of somebody who doesn't really get it. And that's when I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. I had always thought that that was what I was going to do, and so
You know,
that's how I ended up starting the business. Now, full confession, the business I had has nothing to do with the business I thought I was going to have, but it's
but
the
that's
business.
growth. That's growth. You start with a seed and you like just grow it more and more and you develop it into what you wanted. But you did know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was a little bit different, wasn't really sure if I could be an entrepreneur. It took a lot of courage from some of my other mentors that you're an entrepreneur, Jennifer.
Yeah. When I was at Conseco and the company was sliding into bankruptcy and I was running the creative services team, I went to my boss and I said, we have a big team. We don't have enough work. I can lay off some of these incredibly talented people, or you can let me go outside the company and do work, market our marketing team as an advertising agency. We did projects for the Star, we did projects for the Zoo.
Yeah.
We made money and we paid for the extra people that I did not want to let go.
You took care of people.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah.
took care of people first, which is, like, the first rule of business for me is, like, you gotta take care of your people,
Mhm.
and you've
Oh,
always done that, like, you've always, like, no matter what, like, when we start on these shows, you're just like, "Don't make me cry." Like, "How can I help you?" Like, that's awesome.
mhm.
So what's your favorite lessons over the years?
So, lessons on the starting end and then on the leaving end. On the starting end, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, maybe I'm going to start a business, always have more money. Always have more money. It's going to take longer than you think. Um, your
Yeah.
first sale will usually be easy because your first sale is almost always to a friend or a family member, a former boss, someone who knows you. And
Yeah.
so the business lands in your lap and you think, oh, I have a business. I had two sales before I even quit my old job. And I thought, this is going to be easy.
Do you know that my first sale was
Oh, you locked up. I've lost you. Ooh. Okay, so while we're waiting for there you are. Are you back?
I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I was just gonna tell the story of my first sale was to my uncle that
Mhm.
you took care of his website and built a wonderful website, and I came in and did the Google Ads.
Oh my goodness, who is your uncle?
Charlie Sauter with Midwest Telephone, he no longer owns it, but that was my first client.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, I remember building the website, loved that. And yes, that's so true. So on the front end, the first client is easy, the second and third, not so much. Um,
Mhm.
but lessons along the way. In let's talk about the selling part of the business. Let's not really focus on the day-to-day running because we do lots of other shows there.
Yeah.
Um, the first thing is you need to know before you start a negotiation, what do you really want? Um, I had someone who approached me, hey, I want to buy a company in Indianapolis. I'd like to talk to you about your company. And so I went into the conversation completely blind. I did not know what my business was worth. I did not really know what I wanted. Now, that process taught me a lot. It taught me you got to like the people that are buying your business. And I discovered I didn't like those people. So fast forward, I didn't sell my company to them, but I learned a lot from them. Number one, they made me an offer. And I looked at it and I thought, well, that looks interesting, but is that fair? And so then I had to do the homework to figure out what was my business worth, what was the market value, what did people normally do. So that was helpful. And so he was surprised when I came back to him and said, I want more money because this isn't enough. And he sort of, gave me the, oh, you don't really understand this. And I'm like, I've been running the business 18 years. I understand it. So it's okay if we don't, if we don't go forward. So knowing upfront and whether you don't have to work through a business broker. I didn't. But talking to people like that, there are lots of online tools that will help you value your business. And so um, that conversation, then going through the exercise of valuing my business, taught me 3 years. You've got to put together 3 good years. The nature of this business, God help us, is up two, down one, down two, up one, up two, down one. And you've got to have 3 good ones, or you got to have 2 exceptional ones and one in the middle that's not so good. Because when you go to sell, the way you're going to value your business is it's going to be, especially if you're in a service business, your last 3 years. Now, this is different if you're doing a tech startup. That's a whole different animal.
Different companies. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because they expect that, rapid growth and you're dealing with investors. I'm talking about if you have a service business, accountants, lawyers, marketing, your business is judged on how your 3-year sales have been and reoccurring revenue. That's the second thing. If
So,
Go ahead.
well, it's like you're just such a entrepreneur because you're answering my third question. So I'm writing a fourth question without
Mhm.
even knowing what that third question is because I didn't give it to you prior. It's just like, how did you separate yourself and treat the business as an asset? You just described it to a T.
Yeah, well, and the last piece of that is one of the lines in that form is you put in what you're paying yourself, and you have to subtract that out because
Mhm.
um, that business, they're going to have to, quote, replace you as a manager.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that you do is you have to make your employees more valuable and
Mhm.
you less valuable to the business.
Yep. Yep.
You have to be able to prove, look, I mean, when I got ready to sell Round Peg, Sam and Simon had all the relationships with the clients. The clients liked me.
Yeah.
And who did they deal with?
Yeah.
Sam and Simon. So when I sold the business, they were a valuable asset. And I told the new owners, these are the guys, you don't need me, but you do
Right.
need them.
Right. Yep. So it's like the last question is like taking the emotion out
Mhm.
of it and just the business and the numbers and watch the numbers and
Yeah.
so many places I could go with that, but numbers don't lie.
Mm-mm. No, and as much as you love the business and you love the clients, somebody coming in is going to look at them. They're going to put them on a spreadsheet and go, "This client generates this many hours of work, and they get paid. We earn
Yeah.
this much from them."
So
But
that's why it's like what to do after you sell your company. You had to prepare prior to what you were going to do, but I do know that it took you a while to discover what that brand was cuz things changed and the market changed and things were unpredictable and you can't change what happens to you, but you can change how you react to it.
Absolutely, because I had this vision. And so after that first conversation, I'm like, okay, what do I want? And what I want is when I sold the agency is I wanted to do training. I definitely wanted to keep doing my podcasts and write. And so I broke off the training and the podcast and formed a separate company. And so when I sold Round Peg, the intellectual property that was me did not get sold with it. Because really and truly, the webinars I created, the workshops I created were
Yeah.
not things that other people could step into, use my slides, and really present well because they were built around my style.
And
And
you
so
put all of your thoughts into the digital toolbox in that year, and, like, we didn't plan this for a pitch, but it is, like, you put your years of experience in there of, "This is what I know, this is how you do this, and this is this, this, and that, and tools, and workshops, and downloads, and whatever else." This is why I've always followed you because you taught.
Mhm,
And I
absolutely.
like to teach and I like to learn, and I'm like, "She's somebody I can learn from, and I'm going to follow her and get her to like me." I don't know if it
That's
worked
right.
out.
The getting to like you was easy. That was easy. Um, but the thing is, and you made a comment about things changing. I really envisioned a lot of seminars and being out on the road, and I did not envision COVID.
Nobody
And I
did.
did not envision everything shutting down. I did not envision that a lot of other people would be creating online tools at the same time. And so I did it. I mean, and the toolbox is there, and I love the toolbox, and I'm still adding content to it. But in about the last 6 months, I've really started to pivot to what is really my brand. And my brand is me. It is Lorraine Ball, who is a podcast host, a presenter, an author. And I
A
don't know if
creator.
I'm a creator, and I don't have the cards on my desk, but my new business card, the logo is my name.
Yeah,
It's just my signature, and it took a
beautiful.
long time to figure out that that's really what I'm selling at this point, and it's strange because I was always very resistant. I always thought, well, the company makes me sound bigger. I never wanted to be Lorraine Ball and Associates, or Lorraine Ball.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But at this point, that really is the appropriate brand for all the assets that are me.
And it's beautiful, and I think you've done just a wonderful job, and you can be a mentor to a lot of people, and you still donate your time to go talk to kids and teach the kids, and you still just try to teach the next people, like, how to do it. Yay. Look
Yeah,
at that.
I found it. Thank you. You know what? I enjoy it and it's fun. And I think
It's
that's
your
probably the last lesson. And we are way over time today. Look at
Yeah,
that.
I know. It's your legacy, though. You are leaving your legacy for other people to follow in your footsteps, and that's a true leader. Any final thoughts?
I think that if you get up in the morning and you like what you're doing, it's easy. And I did round peg for 20 years and I did it because every morning I got up and I loved it. And it was sad to say goodbye, but I'm in a place now where I get up in the morning and I like it. So it's good. And it's a little different rhythm. And there's time for travel. And that's always my favorite thing. And, but I think at the end of the day, if you're waking up in the morning and you don't love it, it's time for a change.
We started with the why, we're ending with the why. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week on the Small Biz Chat.
See you soon.